Look at a cat lazily stretching on a sunlit wall at 8 a.m. No alarm woke it up. Nobody set a deadline for its morning. It doesn't have rent due at the end of the month, nor is it stressing over a performance review. It didn't lie awake at midnight cringing over a mistake it made 3 years ago. It simply found a warm spot of sunlight, stretched its paws, and settled in. Now, look at you. You woke up to a piercing alarm because someone else decided when your day officially starts. You put on clothes tailored to unwritten rules created by people you've never met. You spend the vast majority of your waking hours performing tasks someone else deemed valuable, all in exchange for numbers on a screen. Numbers you will immediately transfer to someone else just to keep a roof over your head that you don't even truly own. And under all of this lies a quiet, constant hum of anxiety. Am I doing enough? Am I falling behind? Am I losing a race that no one officially announced, but everyone is frantically running? So the question isn't foolish at all. Do animals live more freely than we do? On the surface, the answer seems painfully obvious. Yes. A cat doesn't pay taxes. A hawk doesn't apply for a building permit to build its nest. A wolf has never sat through a 2-hour meeting that could have been a 3-sentence email. Animals have no laws, no dress codes, no career ladders, no 5-year financial goals. They exist entirely in the present tense. They eat when food is available, sleep when they are tired, and move when they feel the impulse. No global system was built to monetize their daily labor. Jean-Jacques Rousseau, the 18th century philosopher, spent years contending that civilization itself was human history's greatest trade-off. He called the original state natural liberty, the freedom to exist purely according to your own physical needs. No master to obey, no debts to settle, no social judgment to escape. Just living, without the constant burden of having to justify why you deserve to exist. Then came agriculture, land ownership, laws, and governments. Humans traded natural liberty for civil liberty, the freedom to act within the boundaries of established rules in exchange for protection. You surrendered your absolute right to just be, and in return you received the right to exist safely inside a structured system. Animals, however, never signed that social contract. They kept the original deal. And in our modern daily routine, the cost of that trade-off is almost impossible to ignore. You cannot sleep simply because you are exhausted. You sleep when your schedule permits. You cannot eat when hunger hits if you lack the money to buy food. You cannot walk away from a toxic environment unless you have already secured a financial safety net. Albert Camus famously drew a parallel between modern human life and the myth of Sisyphus, condemned forever to roll a boulder up a hill, only to watch it roll back down. Wake up, commute, work 8 hours, pay bills, sleep, repeat. Every basic necessity for human survival, shelter, food, rest, has been commodified. You have to earn the right to survive. The animal, by contrast, simply claims it. It finds food because food exists in the world. It finds shelter because nature provides it. It owes no rent to the earth for the basic right to stay alive. But pause for a moment. Is the freedom animals possess really the romanticized version you envy? Consider a deer sprinting away from a predator. It is not making a conscious choice to run. A biological switch flips, panic floods its bloodstream, and its legs move. The animal cannot decide that today it would rather stand its ground. It cannot opt out of the chase. Its freedom from human rules comes at a steep price, complete submission to its own biological programming. Nature commands every animal, and the animal obeys. Humans feel that same natural impulse, but unlike animals, we possess a unique ability to either yield or resist. That capacity to resist your own nature is an entirely different caliber of freedom. An animal cannot decide to forgive a rival that harmed it. It cannot choose to stay and protect another when every cell in its body screams run. It cannot choose a life path that contradicts its hard-coded genetics. Humans can do all of these things, which means we possess a dimension of freedom no animal on Earth shares: the freedom to act against our immediate urges, to forgive, to create art that outlasts us, and to ask deep existential questions. The reality of the animal's free world is also far harsher than we imagine. Neurobiological research shows that baboons in the wild exhibit severe signs of chronic stress. Dominant individuals constantly intimidate those beneath them, while those at the bottom carry the physical toll of anxiety in their blood work. No taxes, no mortgages, no corporate politics, yet they are grinding themselves down over status and rank. Social anxiety was hard-coded into animal dynamics long before we built our first city. Furthermore, wild animals exist with zero buffer between themselves and raw reality. No hospitals, no antibiotics, no safety nets. When something goes wrong, an animal suffers alone in complete isolation. But the ultimate irony is this: while we envy the animal's freedom, we are the species systematically stripping it away. We build zoos and call it conservation. We take creatures built over millions of years to roam across entire continents and confine them to concrete enclosures. Peer-reviewed research documents what happens to wild minds in captivity. They develop zoochosis, compulsive, repetitive behaviors born from absolute confinement. We also commodify them on an unimaginable scale. Tens of billions of land animals are bred, factory-farmed, and slaughtered every single year, existing entirely within mechanized systems designed solely around human convenience. The freest creatures on Earth have, in countless cases, been reduced to simple consumer products. So, who is truly free? The animal that lives without rules until a human decides to monetize it, or the human who built the entire global apparatus and now feels trapped inside its gears? The truth is, freedom isn't a single, uniform concept. Animals possess freedom from financial obligation, freedom from existential dread, freedom from the exhausting performance of existing for other people's validation. Humans possess freedom too: freedom to choose against our immediate urges, to forgive, to create art that outlasts us, and to ask deep existential questions. The cat resting on the wall isn't actively choosing peace. It is experiencing peace simply because the mental capacity for existential dread isn't available to it. It cannot reflect on its past, evaluate its direction, or long for a different destiny. When you look at that animal and feel a pang of envy, what you are actually feeling is the heavy, quiet weight of being the only creature on Earth that knows it is inside a cage, even when that cage is entirely invisible. The animal doesn't know it's free. And perhaps that was the point all along.